Let me let that fade out. But you want to know what's crazy about Adina Howard?
Yeah.
So she actually her husband divorced because he said like she was just too freaky.
I could see that.
Yeah, cause like with men, the thing is sometimes we want to freak, but we want to freak until we really come across one. Like it's different. Like women, like it's different for us because women are they're a different type of creature, man. Like they could come and keep going. Like could you imagine if you tried to come and keep going?
I mean, this ain't an endorsement, but I can. I'm just saying. No.
It must be the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga.
I let off warning shots.
Nigga, man, if I try to keep going, man, I'm gonna fucking explode.
Nah, when you get old,
I'm a self-combust, man.
Because niggas get them fucking like the blue chews or like the Viagra's, the pills,
right?
And they think because they got the pill that they could just do whatever,
right?
Or you could, if you like 50, 60, you could have a brain aneurysm, fucking,
right,
and just die. Right. Which not too many better ways to die, but.
And she's a pioneer too, just being like a freak in the 90s because it's different being a freak now. Because that was kind of like, when chicks in the 50s, when they was like, put the beds together. Remember it used to just be two beds, like two single beds in a bedroom? Yeah. And you put the beds together, you're like, oh, this bitch nasty.
Honestly, you know what's funny? Yeah. I did do that once. So, all right, so this is a long story. I'm going to cut it short. I had a roommate in college. Mm-hmm. I made him leave with my, attitude or actions or whatever. And he left. So I put, there was two mattresses still. So, okay. So I had two beds, two twin beds, and I put them together. Yeah. And then we would fuck and then fall through the middle.
And that's what you call a booby trap. What's up, y'all? I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the We Want More podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Moore.
I'm Asante Morris.
We got Pepsi. He just joined us. He just laid down in front of us, and we on episode 69. Please be sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to this on, whether that be on Apple, Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to that. Give us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And, if you got some words for us, leave a review, man. That'll definitely be appreciated. Other than that, definitely we all caught up on the YouTube. We definitely appreciate y'all patience with that. We kind of are looking for somebody. If y'all want to help, if anybody, we are, in the New York, New Jersey region. But if you anywhere want to be able to help out remotely too, if you good with graphic design, social media coordinating, if you know YouTube, because I really don't know how that shit work. I know how to upload it, but I don't know how to reach the maximum amount of people. But I know the people that do tune in with us, they really enjoy it. So yeah,
we reach a lot of people in different creative and marketing and spaces and all that type of shit. So we could build a little network. Yeah,
and there's also certain things that I do want to put together as far as I want to really turn this into a community. So one of the things that we do want to do is build a Discord. I want to build a space to share community events. If y'all have any type of community things going on, please share those with us. One thing I did see, it was I came across this one person page. It was it said John Aid 215. I think it was basically a fund in Philly for it kind of remind me of basically just some community shit, on some Black Panther type stuff, as far as bringing together community money to give out free lunches or things of that sort, help with housing for people in need. So those are the things that I would love for y'all to share with us.
If there's a social page, we'll put that in the description of this, because I remember we talked about that. It was either something like that or that exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's the type of shit that I'm all for. Cause nigga, you ever just look around in your dwelling, your apartment, your home, you just look at all this shit that I got and I don't even fucking appreciate it. Yeah. So
you can keep going. I want to make sure this is clear.
There's just too much stuff, and I'm always thinking about more shit that I want. It's not necessary. You always need more shit because things things break, circle of life, whatever. But we don't need as much shit as we have or that we want. So, let's direct our energy towards equity.
Yeah. And but other than that though, how you been? How was your week?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Had a good Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day was very good.
Yeah, same. Valentine's Day was great. I got a great gift. If you watching this, you see we got mic stands.
Yeah. For some reason, we are slowly putting the pieces together. But we got a huge help here.
Man, women be paying attention to what you need.
They do. And it took me a long time to figure out how they do it. But it's just like, how they talk all the fucking time?
Yeah.
When you talk back, they actually listen.
Yeah, that's
the whole time they talking, you just like, okay, get to the point where I can talk now.
Right.
and then when you say something, they remember it because they have empathy.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they care about other people and shit. It's weird.
Cause we be full of dams or like that's crazy. Or, I can't believe that bitch said that to you.
Yeah.
But they be paying attention to like our full stories.
Yeah. Like you shake your head up and down and be like, damn. Oh wait, up to that point. Since we're on that. If she sends you shit, that's what you buy. Because you know how they send you like just a bunch of shit all the time. Like, hey, this is cool. This is because a lot of time it's like how kids, you walk through. You remember when you was a kid, you go to Toys R Us. This fucking entire store full of toys.
Right.
Now you're not getting 90% of that shit.
But it's the shit that you grab.
Yeah, the shit that you grab. And even if you were to get one of the things that you like kind of liked in passing, you'd be like, damn, I appreciate this shit. So I think that's the key. Like, you just literally have to like listen to what people say because it helps.
No, because it really do. Because literally every gift that I get, I be so caught off guard, but it do be some shit that I really need.
Real shit. Like, it's thoughtfulness and understanding.
But I guess before we get into some topics from the week, as usual, we gonna get into some questions from the listeners real quick. All right, so just two quick questions real quick, because it was some other questions, but they kind of revolve around the topics that we will be talking about. So we'll get into those later. But just to start it off, so one person asked us, how do you ignore online trolls?
See,
well, I guess you just ignore most people online anyway.
I ignore everybody, and that's just for my own peace of mind. Mm-hmm. So the positive things do break through my barrier of ignoring, and I do try to like address those.
Right.
But negative shit, I have two like kind of philosophies on this. One, nothing anybody says or thinks really matters, even if they're right. It's like, you ever have somebody like say some shit and they're absolutely correct, but it's like, who the fuck cares? Two, you can't diagnose somebody's mental health through a screen.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, Kanye West is one exception to where you're like, okay, this nigga's having a bipolar, like schizophrenic breakdown right now. But most people, you assume that these are normal people like you, but that's a bad assumption, and it's often incorrect because somebody that's arguing about something innocuous on the internet has deep-rooted problems. Right,
yeah. And for me, how do I ignore online trolls a lot easier now. In the earlier stages of me being on the internet, I will want to react to everything and get upset and feel like I have to prove myself right. But then you start to realize, like, you just become more secure in yourself. Mm-hmm. So, for example, like, that was one of the things that I forgot to mention last week about the whole trans clip, right? Us saying protect trans women.
Yeah.
When that went viral, you got niggas that's like, oh, y'all niggas is gay. Or just stuff like that. Or why would you talk about protecting trans women on a podcast? But then you realize like that person is saying that out of a place of their insecurity. Because it comes from that same thought process of like, how when you were younger, well, I don't know if you went through this, but like, when I was younger, you would think like if you hang around somebody that's gay, you would get associated with or looked at in the same way.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have gay friends when I was younger.
And then once you realize, like, once you become secure in yourself, you realize like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then you also realize, wow, all of his friends are women. I could take advantage of that. So,
But so like
insecurities, yeah.
Yeah, so like once you just become secure in yourself, the online trolls don't matter. And then also you realize like a lot of these people, if they were in person, they wouldn't have that same energy. Like if they weren't in person, it would be a more nuanced conversation. You would be able to add a lot more context. And also the threat of getting punched in the face like would stop a lot of disrespect.
Yeah.
Like niggas would address you in a whole different way if it was on person. So, I'm not going to get all upset or in my feelings about somebody hiding behind a Nicki Minaj profile picture or
Right.
a cartoon profile picture.
And again, that goes back to like you can't tell if this person is literally diagnosed as schizophrenic or like fucking a manic depressive who's in a fucking episode.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell that shit. So you could be a regular person with like 500 followers, post a reel, and somebody from Pakistan call you the F word. Like it is that deep to where you don't even have to like aim to be famous or anything. You share something and somebody just hates you. So you can't care about anything. That would be if it's like advice. That would be my advice. Just it literally doesn't matter.
Bro, and a lot of times that's the difference between somebody that makes it and somebody that doesn't. Is the people that are able to ignore the online trolls. It's a lot of people that, with the internet now, it's opened up a whole different lane of career. Like you could become a content creator, you could become a streamer, an influencer, things like that. But you have people that don't post it or don't take chances on their content because of that one troll or that one person that says, man, that shit corny. Whereas you got people that, they might get. You got people. Look at somebody like B. Simone, for example, right?
Yeah.
She's somebody.
Sold a blank coloring book and shit.
She's somebody that when she posts on Twitter, people tear her apart, but she just stays in her pocket with her Instagram followers or her TikTok supporters. These are like her target audience that builds her up. Now, if she was listening to the people that are saying like, yo, man, that shit corny, she would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, and you got to be delusional to think anything's going to work out for you in life.
Yeah.
Like at this point, even if you just in college trying to be a doctor, there's only a certain amount of doctors that are allowed to be doctors. Like I don't know exactly how the rule works. I want everybody to know that I'm fucking partially stupid. So like there's a nugget of truth to this. Like they only allow a certain amount of doctors per like graduating year or some shit like that. So to think that you are going to be the one, you got to be a little bit delusional to work through all that. So just fucking remain focused on some shit and pretend that nothing else is going on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other shit's going on. It might affect you, but pretend it doesn't.
Yeah. And the other question, somebody asked me, they said, if you had a knife in your back or a dick in the butt, which one you pulling out first?
Who asked this? Because I want to make sure like I have them blocked. Because that's just wild as shit. Why the fuck would you ask a nigga that?
No.
Did you come up with this shit yourself? And you trying to like?
No. This was
it's a level of immaturity that I'm like.
Yeah.
Even I'm like, come on, my nigga.
No.
Really?
This is one of my homies asked this.
I'm blocking them.
But for me, I would probably pull out the knife on my back and hope I just bleed out. Because if the other one got inside of me, something definitely went wrong along the way. And I don't need to be here no more.
This is some bullshit. This is the worst question I've ever heard. You might have ended the segment, whoever the fuck you are. I'm blocking this nigga, man. What's his name? We doing it right now. IG, Twitter, TikTok, fucking everything. Facebook, LinkedIn, Indeed.com. Well, the reason I'm taking such a harsh stance is because I don't want anybody else to think this is the type of shit that they can send us. So I'm not even that mad at the nigga that did this.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to draw a line in the sand right now.
Yeah.
Yourself, nigga.
But other than that, though, this past week, I guess a lot happened. You know, when last time we recorded right before the Super Bowl happened. So, you know, we didn't get a chance to speak on the game or, you know, just everything. The game, the halftime show, the celebration afterwards. So, I mean, did you watch the game?
So, I did watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
There were points of it where I was like, we killing these niggas. I'm going to just do something else.
Yeah.
I watched the halftime show. And I just went to bed and went to work the next morning.
Yeah.
I was planning on going to like riot. Like I knew. I was like, we going to win.
Wait, you were
riot.
You were in Philly?
Nah. I was going to go to Philly, but I was just like, let me just get some pizza, go to sleep, bro one out.
Yeah, so and that's no, that's a great night, man. That's a great night. So for me, and also it's funny because I did get called out for being a fake fan, you know, because we really didn't talk about football at all this year. But it's like, honestly, to keep it real with y'all, I'm not the biggest football fan. Like I'm happy the Eagles won. I'm more of a basketball person. Like I would just give anything for a Sixers championship. Like when it comes to football, I mentioned this before. I'm kind of like a chick. Like I don't know like all the players in the league. I know the ones the women know. Like I don't know what quarterbacks got the best, the most touchdowns or passing yards, but I know who quarterback got the best face card. Yeah.
I honestly don't care about like sports. I don't care about stats unless there's money on the line. I don't care about like the stats. I like the spectacle of it, and I like the camaraderie. I like when people are high fiving each other in a bar, and you know I like rooting for underdogs. But I'm not like my fucking mood doesn't hinge upon whether or not my team does well. Like I don't actually give a fuck. I'm not gonna beat up a nigga to death in a parking lot because he got a different jersey. But like, because Philadelphia is such a harsh sports city that it's like, I'll take a step back from it entirely. I'm not that invested.
But I'm into the Eagles now that they winning. So like, you know, when people be like, yeah, my quarterback is better than yours, I be like, yeah, but your quarterback, he don't got dimples.
Yeah. and our quarterback, you seen that nigga chain?
Yeah, right. Yeah, my quarterback chain better than yours. Yeah, so the game was good. It felt good to watch, you know, Philly sports and not stress.
Oh man, that was amazing.
That shit was like over from the beginning. Yeah, they came in focus. And so that was good. Even though, like, you know, the final score, it was 40-22, but them last two touchdowns the Chiefs caught, it was like the game was over at that point. Like the game stopped to me when it was 46.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like you gonna try to hurt your fucking your knees to stop a touchdown that doesn't matter,
right?
Or you gonna save your knees so you can fucking you know, party later, jump up and down on the couch and shit.
Right. But the halftime show happened, and, you know, so Kendrick was the halftime performer, and, you know, throughout leading up to this, it was a lot of people that were for it. It was a lot of people happy that, you know, he was chosen to be the halftime performer. Then you had the people that was disappointed that it didn't go to another artist, more specifically Lil Wayne, because it was in New Orleans. And I think that's what kind of messed it up was Dre and Snoop doing LA when they got picked to perform at the Super Bowl. And even though Kendrick was a part of that, but I guess because they were a part of that, everybody looked at it like that might be the new trend now. Mm-hmm. Like the major rapper from that city might headline it. So, but I was glad. Like I loved this performance.
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, like I've been a Kendrick fan the whole time, and I'm like if we had to pick sides, I would obviously pick Kendrick over Drake. Mm-hmm. But
to get into it, so that was one of the questions that somebody else asked. Somebody asked, do you think all the Drake hate is it warranted or is it too much now?
I've kind of always felt the same way about him, and he's just a Canadian actor that learned how to act like a Black American rapper, and that's how I've always felt about him.
Yeah, and I love Drake music. You like Drake music?
Yeah. Especially when he's singing. He's undeniably a great artist.
Right.
Like the nigga's talented as fuck. He's an actor. So like when he's doing, you know how he is like gets people make fun of him for doing all the accents and shit, but it's like that's what an actor would do. The nigga would act Jamaican, act British. Like,
yeah. It's like
it's fun.
It's like Idris being in The Wire.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think with the Kendrick performance, there was a lot of criticism just from like, you know, people that might not been the biggest fans of Kendrick, people that might not be the biggest fans of rap, Drake fans. It's just from all different sides, right? So some of the things I heard, like I was at a comedy club this past week. Mind you, like I'm sitting at the table, only black person there, and everybody's discussing this. And everybody was saying that like they weren't really fans of it. And this was like older white women, older white men saying that, you know, they felt like they should have went with somebody else. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that because it's like that shit wasn't for y'all. That shit was like, it was for somebody like me and you. It was for somebody that's fans of Kendrick or just fans of the genre of rap. It's like, y'all didn't have a problem when it was Paul McCartney or the Who.
If Taylor Swift would have done this, has Taylor Swift done the Super Bowl?
No, she hasn't. But
if Taylor Swift would have done the Super Bowl,
let me actually pull up a list of
there would have been a lot of people very excited about it. There would have been a very limited amount of black people that, or anybody just, you know, that has a different sensibility, a more urban sensibility, not even just black people, would not have been excited about a Taylor Swift Super Bowl. But we wouldn't have felt like our opinion on that mattered enough to be like, oh, I didn't think they should have had her. Like, you imagine as a nigga being like, hey, I don't know if they should have picked Taylor Swift to perform the Super Bowl. That's how arrogant these motherfuckers could be, to where they like, you know what? Everything should apply to me.
Let me see. Look at this shit. I'm looking at the list of performers now. You got
Coldplay. Not a nigga on earth would have gave a shit about what year was that?
That was
in 2016,
yeah.
Especially. Come on.
You got Coldplay, Lady Gaga. Let's see, Katy Perry,
Bruno Mars. That's everybody.
Yeah.
He's the new Jesus. Madonna, and like these are all like very talented, popular artists.
But nobody's asking Madonna, or nobody's asking, you know, these like the Who. Let me see, who else? The Rolling Stones. Nobody's asking them like, hey, why don't you do some songs for the black people?
Because we would understand that that's ridiculous, because things aren't always catered to us, and they shouldn't. Some things are for some people, but like these motherfuckers really just don't get that. And it's insane, because I was telling you earlier, I feel like Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl with his like pro-black stuff and, you know, the theatrics. He had like one of the biggest years like of his career this past year. It makes perfect sense for him to do that, because think about how many black people to this day are boycotting the NFL and have, you know, boycotted in the past, and just like the kind of attitude that we have towards that shit now.
Right.
It makes perfect sense for them to do something that's like, they're not taking a stance, but they're allowing a voice to be heard. So like now that's the NFL. They're like, no, we're not racist. We're not, we don't, you know, not care if black people get concussions. We let you dance and sing. We love you guys. Come back to us. So you're missing that point by making it about yourself, basically. If you're white, you think that Kendrick Lamar wasn't mainstream enough to do the Super Bowl.
Like with the performance, you know, I love the performance from like, you know, Samuel Jackson being like playing.
Who's more American than Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah, I love that shit. I loved him coming out there, and I love him starting with the song that's not released. Like I love him doing the I like, and I'm sure you feel this as a performer too, where it's times where you might go into the stuff that's a little bit easier, or you might know that might get the crowd on your side, but you want to do the stuff for you. Sometimes you want to do the stuff that makes you happy. And then you also had people criticizing the performance, saying like, you know, it wasn't, people that were at the stadium, they were saying like they didn't, they didn't really get the energy of the performance. And I feel like that's because some venues are just too big. Like, you're just too spaced out. It's not like with the Super Bowl performance, it's not like a concert at a stadium where there's actual people on the field surrounding the stadium and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, you far as shit. Like, I look at it, even when you perform in theaters, right? When you on stage at a theater or shit, I'm sure you done a punchline in Philly.
Yeah.
The size, it feels like it's that distance between you and the crowd, as opposed to something that's like a little bit more intimate, like a bar show or something where like the crowd is right there on you. So it's going to be a totally different feel for the energy.
Well, I'm sure he's done like, because big artists will do football stadiums and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like he's probably done something comparable in size, but it was just filled with his fans. Yeah. It's the Super Bowl. Like, he understands that it's not all about him. He's there to entertain that crowd. It's not his crowd, but some people there know him. And also, the nigga already got paid.
And the way it was shot for people at home too.
Yeah.
So I like how they did like the whole transition of the scenes.
It's like, who gives a fuck what a bunch of people in Louisiana that could afford to go to the Super Bowl thinks about me?
Bro, exactly.
A bunch of rich people and some people that are well off.
But yeah, the people, shit, you damn near got to be making six figures to be able to afford to sit at the top of the Super Bowl.
Word. And those aren't the type of people that go to concerts and sing their fucking heart out.
Those ain't the niggas that's listening to Kendrick.
Yeah, like, the only reason that somebody like Madonna doing the Super Bowl and, she would electrify the crowd like that, because people that are, I don't want to get on a whole rich people rant, but people that are like, rich people, CEOs and shit. These aren't motherfuckers that are like obsessed with art. They're doing they're on their whole like money shit. So they don't really sit up fucking singing every single word of a Beyonce song trying to get it right. It's just that these artists are so big that it's impossible to not know about them. So, Kendrick's probably not going to reach that audience that well, or any other artist like on his level or in his space. But that's not what it's always about. Sometimes it's just about a performance, Yeah. They wanted him. He had a hot year. Leave it at that. A nigga that only got $300 and he spent $200 on a concert, that's the one that knows every fucking lyric.
Yeah. Like I say with this year that Kendrick just had, I say there's probably like a definitely got to be like a top 5 year in rap for like an artist. And it's only because he didn't put out more shit. Like, he didn't, like, I say when it comes to like ranking the top years in rap, you got to go like Wayne in 07 when he went on that crazy like feature and mixtape run. DMX in 98. I think he dropped like two number one albums in 98. One in the Eminem years, like maybe like Marshall,
50 Cent.
50. And then after that, I would say this Kendrick year right there. And for him to even have this crazy of a year when no interviews, no promotion, surprise album, like didn't drop it at midnight or anything.
That's another thing. Surprise album. Shit.
Like just dropped it midday, just on a random Friday afternoon.
The material held up to where I could see why you would have done that.
I want to circle back to the question about, is the Drake hate warranted? I say yes for a few reasons. I love Kendrick doing Not Like Us, because like we mentioned it. I remember that year when Back to Back came out.
Oh yeah, he that nigga gave Meek a whooping.
Bro, that nigga had Will Smith laughing at memes of Meek.
That shit was that was like watching your father get jumped.
Yeah.
And not that he's my father, but it's just like the city of Philadelphia sees this motherfucker as like a symbol of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So seeing the only one we had get jumped, that shit hurt, nigga. And you had to dance to it. So now it's your turn.
With the hate is
you getting a Wally and crying.
Remember, like earlier in the year, I think earlier last year, where most Def was speaking out on Drake, and I do think there was some hate. Like it was some like a lot of underlying shade. And
it was some old ass shit.
Yeah,
definitely. Like, oh, these new kids,
But I don't like how Drake responded to that. Drake responded by following his daughter on Instagram. Like, and even though she is like, a artist in her own, like, having her own career going on now. But it's like, still, why do you have to like try to get back at niggas by going through the women in their life?
I get that, and he is kind of like, I don't respect it that much, but Drake is like, I don't know. I don't want to call him like a modern like Michael Jackson because that's a stretch. International superstar.
Yeah.
Every woman that likes Drake songs, knows a couple, maybe knows the whole song.
Yeah.
Maybe thinks he's attractive. It's a power move to be like, I could fuck your entire family, right? Like I see what he's trying to get at.
Right.
Like, you're mad at me? Why? Because your girl wants to fuck me? Like that's what he's doing. Or your daughter wants to fuck me. But
oh, and that was another thing too. I forgot to mention about the performance. When Serena popped up.
Yeah.
That was fire. They had like, the greatest, and not even just the greatest like woman athlete. She is arguably like you could argue that she's one of the top 3 athletes of all time.
For sure.
So to have her out there crip walking, and people looked at that as, you had people saying, "Oh, she just doing this to get back at Drake," when really is part of the whole symbolism of America wants to control our image, and that like, we gotta stay professional. We can't be too ghetto. So her coming out there is kind of like a shot at the people that criticized her for doing the dance at Wimbledon.
Yeah, and that whole like we can't be ghetto shit. It's like if they was up there line dancing, they would be like, "Oh, we don't want to do no redneck shit." What is the hatred towards poor people when they're fucking black or brown? God damn, she got a white husband. How much more not ghetto can she be? She's rich. Her white husband plays tennis. Let her dance.
Her husband, her husband is the one that created Reddit.
I didn't know that, but go her, because I wish fucking that was the type of like that's the type of pull women got. Yeah. When they successful. Yeah. When you a successful man, where's the Mark Zuckerberg for you?
Right. You just like
I want to marry up.
Right. When you
ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, I'll give you that.
I mean, but he's like one of the few. ASAP is one of the few to like marry up and get his own woman that isn't the baby mom of another rapper.
True.
Yeah.
You think Russell Wilson or Sierra have more money than Russell Wilson, or
nah?
You think he has more?
Way more.
That's what I was thinking. I can't think of too many where it's just like this nigga is like he's great, and the person that they got has more money than that.
Yeah. So they're both.
Sometimes I'll be looking at my girl like, why don't you fucking code something, nigga? Why don't you fucking open a sweatshop so you get the fuck up out of this goddamn neighborhood? You don't ever look at your girl like that, like, man, motherfucker, why the fuck you ain't rich? No, but that's the thing, man. It's not even that much stuff left to exploit. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to. We keep getting excited about billionaires, but it's only gonna be so many more billionaires before this shit implodes. Because like, how many sweatshops can you really open,
bro? That's why they stopped showing. I didn't even have this on the docket, but that's why they stopped showing Luigi picture, right?
Why? Because
the backlash wasn't going in their favor. People thought like because he was becoming so sensationalized, and people like were kind of on his side as far as, I get why somebody would want to attack a healthcare CEO that's just been canceling people's insurance and essentially in a way responsible for people dying. Once the public started to see him as more of a hero, we haven't really seen or heard anything from him.
Yeah.
Because remember the initial, the one of the last times we saw him was the whole perp walk with like Eric Adams, and you had everybody out there.
Didn't they give him a bulletproof vest too?
Yeah.
They like tried to embarrass him. Yeah, they make it seem like they were protecting him. It was like, ain't nobody gonna touch him.
Right, they tried to make it seem like he was a danger. It's like, no, that nigga got who he wanted. I'm not worried about him at all.
No, it's fucking.
The people that we should be worried about is the fucking church shooters that y'all be out here taking a Burger King.
There's a lot of different versions of that shit, and I don't want to get into it, but I will say, as far as CEOs, and we're gonna talk about Luigi fucking for the next year, I guess. Sorry, but CEOs, they get paid to make the kind of decisions that nigga got killed for. Like, I understand it's like innocent person or whatever, but it's like his job title is take risks that don't affect the shareholders. Mm-hmm. So those risks often are with human lives instead of the shareholders' money. Mm-hmm. So that whole entire job title is...
Yeah,
that's it.
I was actually just reading about that where, like, you know, because a lot of times CEOs, they might ask their employees to do the most simple tasks. Like a CEO or a CFO, they might be in charge of, they might be overseeing like all the different accounts and stuff like that. And they might have to ask one of their employees to do something simple like, hey, can you make this spreadsheet for me? Or can you insert this on Excel for me? Where that employee might look at it as like, how aren't you capable of doing this simple thing? Whereas that CEO, like you said, they are the ones that's setting the strategies. They're the ones implementing like essentially the life or death decisions.
Yeah, they're decision makers. That they get paid that much money because when an entire warehouse gets laid off or some shit, they're the guy that was willing to do that, and they get paid a lot of money to do that because it always helps everybody else at a higher level, shareholders, you know, executives, boards, like they all profit from that shit. So that's why they pay a motherfucker so much money to do a job, and they can't even open up their own goddamn emails.
And that's why they shouldn't remove those lists from the company websites.
No, they shouldn't. We should all be able to know exactly who it is that's fucking over our lives. You have to spend years in business making tough decisions before you're allowed to do that. Because it's not like somebody that's lifting boxes all day can't be a CEO and can't make those decisions. But they might be like, damn, I was just working with this nigga. I'm laying him off. Damn. I don't know if I could do that. Right. I mean, you eventually would. Like I'd fucking put you on the street immediately. But I would think about it. I would have remorse about it. And I might even try to change things after. Be like, damn, that was fucked up. We shouldn't do that no more. Most CEOs, like, you built up that resistance to that shit, to risk taking or like, you know, morally questionable decisions.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when it comes to CEOs, it's like shit. You could either be Birdman or Manny Fresh.
Yeah. All Manny Fresh did was wear big ass polos, and Birdman out here kissing niggas, taking money from him, trying to kill him. That is insane. Kiss, fuck, marry, kill, all on the same person.
Let me see, but I guess to keep it in music, you see Kanye, he went on a wild Twitter rant.
It was funny at first because he said, I don't know if I still got the tweet, but I want to read it.
About funny niggas?
Yeah, and I was like, that nigga is totally correct. He said, no rich nigga is truly funny. Being funny is for broke niggas who want to distract you from the fact that they broke and trying to get bitches to fuck for free.
I mean, why else you think I'm out here showing my personality? Shit, if I had money, I wouldn't be doing no talking. So he was kind of on point with that one.
Like, yeah. But it's also like, that's the reason why anybody does anything, like a straight guy, you know, that's why anybody's thought-provoking or can paint or, you know, you're trying to show your worth to the world, even if it's not for that. Subconsciously, it's, you know, so that you have a worth. So for him to be rich and just shit on everybody like that, that's fucked up.
No, and
he's so funny that he doesn't get to say that. Because he don't even realize how fucking funny he's been over the past couple of decades. Now it's not funny. But for a while, that shit was hilarious.
After, like, you know, outside of that tweet, like, he went on, like, just a wild anti-Semitic rant. And he's just been coming at the Jewish community for a while now. And he was saying things along the lines of, like, how he loves Hitler. He, on his website, he started selling a shirt with a swastika on it. He was already selling a White Lives Matter shirt. And it's just wild to see, you know, him become everything he was against at one point.
Yeah, it is really. His CIA chat must have like fucking malfunctioned.
And
There's fuck, man. This is really strange behavior, and it's to the point where I don't even want to talk about. He like on a Trump level where it's like I don't even want to talk to the nigga or like talk about the nigga because he's one, an attention whore, and two, it's not even worth the attention.
And the music not even good no more.
It's not. It's not worth it.
It's like if you gonna be doing all of this, nigga, you gotta give us the slaps.
It's like you 50.
And it made me look at the whole Sunday service differently, because I did like some of the Sunday service songs. Of course, I'm a love black people singing, especially doing like interpretations of like, you know, R&B classics into some gospel shit.
Yes.
But you know, they say the Sunday service, that was kind of a way to evade taxes.
That's every church though. So.
Yeah. So that's what he was doing.
I mean, it's just genius. If you could get that much money to where you could build a building, get, you know, fucking a band, sing, get some fucking pews and some Bibles, run it up.
One of the things, like, and I hate when niggas be trying to support these anti-Semitic rants.
Yeah.
Especially, like, you know, as far as saying, because it was kind of the same thing with, like, when Kyrie Irving, when he had got in trouble when he had posted that Amazon documentary, whatever. And I hate when people try to say, well, we the real Jews anyway. And it's like, niggas will say that and don't even follow any type of Jewish beliefs at all. Like, nigga, you saying we the real Jews is like, nigga, when like, niggas will say that and don't even be circumcised.
What the fuck was that? I forgot what I was gonna say now.
How you gonna say we the real Jews and you got a turtleneck? But
we just were the first people to exist, most likely, based on just history. But like,
based on like
taking it further than that, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's no real documentation of that history that we could verify. Like, it don't matter that much, nigga.
Yeah.
I did say Kanye should build a school. He did build a school, but here's where this all connects. He built a school and it was basically like a fucking scam. It was like kind of like a weird like indoctrination center type shit.
Right.
Like rich people and people like somebody like him that got a bunch of money and he started out with like some revolutionary energy. He was like, man, I want to shake shit up. What a nigga like that should do when you get all that money, you build some shit and then you get a team of people that know what the fuck they're doing and you let them work. Like that's what the fuck the problem is with niggas that build these fucking anything. That's what the problem is. Like, again, back to the CEOs, like Boeing, a fucking CEO is like, well, I wonder if we could do this cheaper. And everybody's like, no, you cannot do this cheaper. Don't cut costs here. It's going to be a problem. And then they could go, I'm going to do it anyway. Now you got planes crashing and doors falling off and all type of shit. Like, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all stupid.
But you're like, you know, with the whole, like, you know, we the real Jews thing, it's like, don't tell me like we the real Jews and you out here putting out Christian albums, or you out here you out here practicing Ramadan. And
for American Muslim, Black American Muslims especially, to be like mad at Jewish people it's misdirected one at white people. Like there should be no division of these white people are worse than, like, they all fucking did it. So there's that, and like they don't got no smoke for like the Muslim countries that stood by and watched like their leadership watch niggas go through decades or fucking centuries of struggle, ain't offering no fucking help at all. Yeah. Meanwhile, like black people in this country, like that were brought here and are here to this day, were like devout Muslims. Right. Like they were dying. They would rather die than like convert to Christianity at times. So
yeah, a lot of times when it does come to like hate and stuff like that, the energy does get misdirected to the wrong place. Like you said, you mad at this group of people when you should be mad at somewhere else. Even like, will you ever see where a guy might say something crazy? A guy might say something crazy to a woman online, right? And instead of women like responding saying something crazy to this nigga, because he's wrong, they bring up a picture of his girl and they start attacking his girl.
Yeah, it's mean.
It's like, goddamn, it's like misogyny don't win again.
Yeah, you ever stub your toe on a bed frame? You're like, I hate this fucking bed frame. I hate that she bought this fucking bed frame. I told her I didn't like this shit. I'm tired of fucking talking to her. I'm tired of hearing her. All these fucking decisions she be making without me. And your brain just goes into this wild. You're being dramatic, and it's not. Just be mad at what happened in the moment and analyze and move on. But like, this nigga's annoying as shit. He's 50.
Yeah, and
talking about he's a Nazi. And
Kanye,
it's too old to be saying that shit, and it's too young to be a Nazi.
And TMZ had caught up with him. They caught up with him because I guess, I don't know if they still are dropping this. Before the rant, before he went this wild on the rant, him and Ty Dolla $ign, I guess they were supposed to put out something new. And so Kanye, he was speaking to somebody, and he said he was going to perform at the Super Bowl. And it's like, nigga, nobody's ever letting you in front of a live mic again. I don't think they would let this nigga speak on the radio. If he's anywhere in front of a live microphone, it's going to be snipers aimed at him.
I'm curious how we handle somebody like this, because we'll say mental health is important and get help. But we're all like, fuck this guy, we hate him. If he were to like
take yourself out. If
he were to do that, how would we be allowed to feel about that? Yeah. Would we be like, damn, that sucks. I wish fucking somebody would have helped him. Actually, yeah, that is. Yes, I wish somebody should have helped this motherfucker a long time ago. It's like, I understand there's certain niggas you can't tell them shit, but you telling me there's not one person on this earth that could have actually given solid advice and continue to do so. Well, just for us, not for him. Like, yeah. You unleashing this nigga on us. Yeah. This nigga selling Nazi t-shirts.
And it was a video of it was a video of, I don't know if you saw this. It was a video of Kodak Black in the street. He was in the street. Like, Kodak has struggled with drug addiction. I think somebody gave him like a bad pill a few years ago.
That's what I heard.
And so he already had the drug addiction, but then mixed that with like, a bad batch. Still a great musician, but mentally he's just not there. And Kanye put up a video saying that like, he was going to reach out to him and try to help him.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking weird situation. Like, how do you even help a nigga like that? Because, Kendrick put him on a bunch of songs on his album. Mm-hmm. But it's like, giving a drug addict more money just going to give him more drugs. Yeah. Like, right. At the end of the day, you just expanding their habit.
A lot of these people are functioning drug addicts. And like, in Kanye's instance, he's somebody that in his circle, and most of his circles, I'm sure he's probably the most successful person there, unless he's around like a Jay-Z or a Beyonce. But the group that he's with, he's usually the most successful and talented person. So it's like, how do you, I see it in comedy all the time. You could see somebody moving the wrong way and making the wrong mistakes, but it's like, how do you tell somebody they fucking up if everything that they're doing is just leading them to more and more success?
Yeah, you can't. And if it's 6 of us and one guy that's like making the most money, most successful. If one person were to say, yo, I think you're moving wrong, and then he says, get the fuck out, don't come back. Now 5 people are going to sit there and be like, well, I'm not going to say that shit. Instead of all of them be like, yo, he was right. I mean, he might drop all 6 niggas, but that's what being real is. So, yeah. I don't know. This is the world we got to live in. We got fucking consequences for all our actions and shit. Yeah. So you keep calling a nigga a genius, and he try to sell Nazi t-shirts. Who the fuck was fulfilling them orders? First of all, you selling Nazi t-shirts? Where the fuck? Like, cause his original shit, dog, it was regular shirts. So imagine you fulfilling all these orders, like pictures of dogs on t-shirts and like random shit, and then you get this Nazi catalog, but just all Nazi shit. You're like, we don't do that here.
But what's funny is, it's going to be orders of the shirts that go out with the swastika that come out just fine, right? But it is some of these people that were making the shirts that fucked up. So it is going to be some irregular Hell Hitler shirts at Marshalls.
Yo, there's fucking.
It's going to be an Ice Cube shirt, a Nirvana shirt, and then there's Kill the.
It's gonna be somebody. It's gonna be somebody like getting that book. Like, we gotta make all of these. But then you gotta remember, you had a sweatshop and everybody that worked there sleep there. So it's like, I don't got no moral ground to stand on. Let's make the fucking swastika shirts and count this money. We got fucking Uyghur Muslims doing slave labor in this bitch. So I can't really say shit. We got suicide nets in here.
Oh shit. Yeah, that shit, man. That shit is crazy. And this is crazy because, like, I mean, I've been reached a point where I'm fine if I never hear, like, any new Kanye music. He done gave me enough.
Yeah, I can listen to all the old shit.
What does it stop for you?
I would say that, so...
Because for me...
I don't know I think Ye was the name of the album that I was like, anything before this, I don't care.
For me, honestly, I stopped around Jesus. Like I'm fine with like even like Life of Pablo.
I could do without that.
I could do without that too. It's kind of like how sonically it sounds good, but when you really listen to it, it's like this nigga is saying nothing.
If I get bleach on my t-shirt.
Yeah, when you start talking about bleached assholes, it's like, yeah, the beat is amazing, but it's like, what are you really saying to me?
We was on his dick back then too. Like everybody, because he was talking about bleached assholes. He had a little girl preaching about Jesus. Like it was all over the place. He was clearly going through something.
Right.
They're like, this sounds so good. We gotta let him work. Now look where we are.
Bro, it's kind of like shit. It's kind of like Bruno giving us Fat, Juicy, and Wet. It's like, yeah, the nigga could sing, but it's like, come on, bro. This what we doing now? Let me see. Well, did you hear about we didn't talk about this. Did you hear about the black lady that traveled to Pakistan? She thought she was going to marry a 19-year-old.
Yeah, and she was like...
She was wilding. The rumor is, so she eventually did leave Pakistan, and I think, to leave Pakistan, she had to connect a flight in Dubai. I'm not sure. The rumor is that she got arrested in Dubai, so there hasn't really been a true update on her whereabouts.
I think she's fine. I think she's back.
She's back?
I think so. As of like this week.
I hope she's back because she was wilding. It's like she's on the news like saying her list of demands about how she wants money and stuff like that. It's like, nigga, they don't even let women speak out there. So for you to be given demands, it's like she's honestly lucky that like she wasn't out there getting shitted on or something.
Yeah, they probably they don't like black people. India and Pakistan are like pretty similar places.
Yeah, so
they don't like niggas over there.
That's what it was. It was like once they found out, I guess once she showed up, the family didn't approve of that. So they was like, that's how much they don't like niggas so much out there that they won't they'll rather you just leave than disrespect you.
It's hard for 30-year-old women in New York. It's hard.
New York rent got women out here ready to become Pakistani slaves. We got to do something about this rent increase, man. This shit is getting out of control.
That is fucking sad. And again, we don't know this woman's mental health history. She might be severely fucked up. Yeah. To me, anybody, let alone a 19-year-old in Pakistan, that shit don't sound right on no whatever angle you like. You look at an elephant. They say you get too close to the elephant, so you don't see the whole picture. But if you have a bunch of people looking at the elephant, seeing a bunch of different angles, then it's still not together. But if you have one person that looks at all angles of the elephant, they can put a picture of it together. There's no angle of this shit that makes sense. First of all, it's hard to get somebody to come from the Bronx to Brooklyn. She going from New York all the way to Pakistan. She ain't try hard enough. That's my shit. Yeah. Like, all right, I really don't. I don't want to bring up the whole like being 30 and dating shit, but like, There's always another way. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't. You just because you 30 don't mean you gotta go to Pakistan. It don't mean you gotta be a pastor's side bitch. Like it's a lot of shit you could do out here. Just go outside. That's the thing. That's what I was saying last time. Just go outside, nigga. Like breathe some air. Talk to a person at a bookstore or something, and realize you're fucking out of your mind. Speaking of Brooklyn, did you see the NYPD? They posted a picture, like somebody.
Of the young kid.
Yeah, somebody shot up the West Indian Day
parade. Yeah. That was fucked up. I think it was like he was like 15. It was like a 15-year-old kid that they named. Somebody ended up dying in the shooting.
Yeah,
and they named this 15-year-old kid as a suspect and a person that committed this crime. And they later, met up with him, I think his mom, and they later told him he wasn't a suspect, his name was cleared, but they didn't retract the statement from the public. So they had everybody in the area still thinking that he was the one that did it.
Yeah.
So because of that, he couldn't return to school, and he kind of just been moving in secrecy.
Yeah, because niggas thought he killed somebody.
Right.
So the cops might just, because they might not have gotten an update, so they might just, you remember that suspect? Let's pull this kid over. So cops looking for him. Niggas that know somebody that got shot, they looking for him. Mind you, they found out it was wrong. They took down, they put us on their social media. They took it down, and then that shit ended up back up again.
Damn.
The official NYPD social media posted that shit twice.
That's fucked up, man.
That lawsuit is gonna be beautiful though.
Man,
he gonna have a good time in Arkansas.
That shit is crazy because it's imagine if his family didn't have the resources to send him elsewhere, or shit, they probably didn't have the resources. It was just either life or death. It's either shit, am I going to pay rent this month, or am I going to find somewhere for my son to stay?
Yeah, everybody don't got family fucking out of town, down south, past the Mason-Dixon line. Some people's entire family is in that vicinity. Yeah. And yeah, that's fucked up, man. That is some sad shit. It don't happen a lot. This is the thing with the police. The shit that they do, the arguments is always it's only some do something bad, but it's when the police fuck up, they fuck up horrendously. Yeah. To where it's you might ruin one person's entire life or an entire family's entire future. So it may be not as common as people want to believe, but when it happens, it's not all the time that they shoot 4 niggas on a train for hopping turnstile, but it happens,
right?
Which shouldn't happen at all.
I mean, shit. Look at Khalid Browder, where somebody just a mistaken book bag ends up turning into 2 years of my life going in prison, which turns into mental trauma that I'm even scared to just go back to jail for a day. And now I'm no longer here.
Yeah, he couldn't take it, man, and that's sad as shit. And it's it's easy for the penal system and the fucking court system to just keep moving and be we'll try better next time. It won't happen again, and then it keeps happening, but not a lot. But the point is, every individual human life, that shit is important. Yeah. You know what I mean? You really will fuck up. It's not that just all right, we only fucked up one person, but it's think about the human lifespan. It's 100 years. So you fucked up 100 years of a person's life.
I mean, but not even just that. Not even just that one person's. I mean, they say whatever your people went through, we're the trauma that our grandparents or that our parents went through. It go ahead, that's had an effect on us too.
Yeah. Our fight or flight responses will adjust based on past generations' anxiety levels and shit. It's wild as fuck. So yeah, if that nigga have kids, so they gonna grow up with this weird paranoia, and years of therapy. That nigga having fucking flashbacks in the night and shit. It's very fucking strange, and should not happen.
Well, shit, did you just on since we talking about legal news, do you see Jay-Z, his case got dropped, the lawsuit?
Yeah.
And it's also fucked up because in that lawsuit, Diddy was also mentioning that, and that's why I was saying I didn't like the lawsuit initially because that lawsuit dropped. It kind of, you gonna have people saying, oh, they could be making up other shit about him.
Yeah, and like once your name, once you Google your name and the R word comes up, it's gonna stay. They're not gonna delete the articles. They're not gonna delete the allegations. They just dropped the lawsuit. But you can always, in 20 years from now, fucking what's their daughter name? Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
Her friend's gonna look up fucking Sean Carter, and 13-year-old girl gonna pop up, and they be like, damn, your pop was wilding. And may not even be true, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you fuck up. He might have did this shit too. I'm not gonna say it didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, if he's innocent, even though he rich and the class trader, it's still a person.
And that's why, man. That's why you really gotta. It's fucked up. Like the people that you be around. Like you like yo. You take a picture. Like imagine if a comic we know get into some shit.
And which will happen because we are in the business for that to happen. Coming soon, one of our good friends will strangle a woman. TBD.
That shit, man.
And that's the funny shit. That's why, like, when the nigga allegations come out, like, this might be just on some like comedy shit, entertainment shit, or just like personal shit. Whenever that shit happens, I'm just like, guess it was him. Like, it don't surprise me that, like, I'm like, wow, he did that. I'm just like, I knew somebody was doing the shit. So it had to be somebody.
But I don't like how when it comes to, the allegations, it seems like in the past few years, everybody has been waiting for, Roc Nation's downfall. Like that's one of the main things. That's one of the main points people bring up in this whole thing with Drake now, Drake and Kendrick. People think it's this whole conspiracy that Roc Nation is colluding against Drake. And where it all really started from? Tory Lanez. That's what's crazy.
It's not even Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez's little sister.
No, yeah. Tory Lanez's dad
Roc Nation is trying to destroy my brother.
Yeah, and Tory Lanez's dad saying, Roc Nation is going to crumble. It's like, no, nigga, your son shouldn't be out here shooting women in the feet. And it was a video where
that had to be an especially heinous crime to you. They destroyed a perfectly good foot.
No. Her feet. You ever see Meg's feet? No, Meg. No, Meg. She beautiful from head to ankle. No. Yeah, that's the one. That's the. I love her. I love her, man. But I don't seen her on some red carpets where them toes wasn't done. But it's fucked up because it was a video where, like, she stepped out the car. I guess it was a video where, like, where the cop showed up to the scene and she stepped out the car and she stepped on glass, right? And people was like, "Oh, see right there, that's how she hurt her foot." It's like, no, nigga. She was just having a bad night.
Yeah.
Just because I stepped on glass after I got shot don't change the fact that I got shot.
Yeah.
It just mean I got bad luck.
Yeah.
So, and even the doctor had to testify. Like, I'm sure the doctors had to testify in court. They probably had to pull up the hospital records of that. It was fragments in her feet and stuff like that. It's just wild that that's really what niggas really became Tory fans. I swear niggas was not supporting him at all before that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever recommended Tory Lanez to me once.
And shit, if I got Meg and her friend around, the last thing I'm gonna be trying to pull out is a gun.
You shouldn't have a gun at all. If you rich, you should have security with you that does it.
Bro, exactly.
And even if, like...
Bro, that's how most rappers, like, get in bad situations.
Yeah, because they have their own gun or niggas around them.
Or the niggas around them aren't security. These are just your friends with a license. Or might not even have a license. This is just... Most of these rappers don't know how to handle guns. They just got the money to buy them.
Really? And it's silly.
Because I think, one of my favorite rappers...
He caught a gun charge.
No. That was like when the night that he passed. It was gunfire, and I think one of his friends was like shooting, trying to protect him, but shooting from behind him. So it's like now you just like that's how a lot of times people get hit, where your friend might be trying to defend you, but they so quick to fire, not even realizing like, nigga, I'm in front of you.
Shit, yeah, and it's so having security does look corny. I can admit that, but if you were to get, I know like everybody with you doesn't have felonies on their record and can get legal, like guns legally and like a security guard license and shit. Like, all you gotta do is get a couple people around you that could do that. And now you don't got a bunch of random corny dudes that do security for you. You got actual people that you know doing the security. They just registered now. And now if they can actually go on to do that job with other people when you don't need them no more. Like, you gotta set your people up for success.
Yeah, and shit, it might look corny, but shit, being corny, it's better to be corny. It's better to look corny and be alive, and end up in some other shit, man.
Because when you alive, somebody say you corny, you say no, I'm not. But when you dead, somebody say you corny, that's on your record forever. You can't defend yourself.
Yeah,
like somebody be like, remember that nigga? He was corny. End of story. You're not alive to defend yourself. But
I don't know how I'm gonna punch this in, but I do like how like Kim Jong-un, like how he did fake his death to see like who in his circle was really his ops.
I mean, if you're gonna be a narcissist, go all out.
I like that, and I like the whole. I'm against the dictatorship. I think niggas in North Korea, they should have Twitter and internet access and like just freedom. But I do like the whole. I'm the only one that get to wear leather jackets. Like I like that whole like no dicky.
Yeah. Say dicky and should be a punishable in this country for sure.
Yeah. All right, you ready to get into the movie?
Yeah, we can get into the movie.
All right, back with another one as usual, the Tubi movie of the week. Oh, and there was something that somebody did ask me too. Somebody did say they asked, could we start giving the Tubi movies ahead of time? So that is something that we should start doing. So yeah,
we get posted tonight.
Yeah, so like so that y'all could watch ahead with us before the episode drops, instead of finding out the day of. So yeah, I didn't even think of that. So shout out to y'all. Just if y'all have any other ways that we can improve this, send it our way. We want to curate this to make this the right experience for y'all. What else did somebody ask? Somebody did ask, what's the smuttiest Tubi movie we watched? And
this fucking one.
Yeah, this actually might be the one. This might be the one. I forget the name of the movie where they was having sex in the gym and the nigga was doing pull-ups having sex.
Yeah, he was like, he had the pull-ups. He was on a pull-up bar. She was in his lap and he was pulling up and thrusting. Yeah. It was honestly like not relatable at all.
It had nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the movie. It didn't seem like a thing I could do. But I'm glad that I know that existed.
Yeah, and honestly,
I never would have thought of that.
And that's kind of how this movie today was. Today we watch Unexposed. We watched Unexposed, and this movie, it dropped last year. It dropped last year. It has a few familiar faces in this movie. You got Jamal Willard, aka the rapper known as Gravy, aka he played Biggie in Notorious. A Tubi King. Definitely a Tubi King. Matter of fact, I need to actually look at his IMDb credits to see how many movies he had.
One of the beautiful things about the NCU is the fact that like he's known for like playing Biggie, and for one, he gets to continue his acting career, but a lot of these roles that he does, it seems like he's just being himself.
Yeah,
and it's like there's plenty of actors that like get to just be them in different movies and shit. Like Denzel, that nigga's Denzel in like every movie. Like for when he does certain shit, it's like this nigga is Denzel being Denzel. You know what I mean? Like he's a good actor. I'm not saying he's not a good actor, but it's like there's plenty of movies where you see him and you're like, that's why everybody can do impressions of him, because he's got. Point I'm making is he gets to be who he is. He gets to pick the roles that like he feels like I could do this. Nobody else is gonna make this bullshit. But there's a house for that. Him, Camille Hassan, you can punch women in that whatever movie. fucking the other women, they can, shop at boutiques and drink wine.
Yeah, and what's also cool about Jamal Willard's story of being an actor is that, he first came on the scene playing Biggie in Notorious, and we all know how the Biggie story ends. But he was
How does it end?
with Biggie?
Yeah.
In Vegas.
What happened in Vegas?
He got shot.
Biggie's dead?
But it was nice that, he was able to actually have life after death because he returned in the Tupac movie. Yeah. So he got the pull off the rare feet. He got to play Biggie twice. But looking at his credits, so Jamal Willard, this nigga has 80 previous acting credits. That's amazing.
That's a lot of movies.
He got 80 previous acting credits, 17 upcoming.
And he's just a nigga that's not shit in every movie. So there's a version of that in real life.
Oh, I can't wait.
Him.
I can't wait to see some of these. So in this movie, all right, so back to this movie. So Unexposed, so you got Jamal Willard, aka Biggie. But then you also got Jeremy Meeks. That's the light-skinned guy that got famous from his mugshot going viral.
And his IMDb page is his mugshot. You don't get no better than that.
Yo, this nigga used the mugshot as his headshot, man.
That is a great fucking headshot, though.
That's a good ass picture.
I had a mugshot before. That shit didn't look nothing like that.
Look at this nigga jaw structure. I could see why, like, I get it. I get it. Like, this nigga got casted at the precinct.
And he had just got his haircut, probably. Like, trimmed down.
Yeah.
He don't really got, like, a hairline, but you could tell, like, it's all...
Nigga, when I go to the barbershop, I'm taking his picture. Make me look like this. Real. So you got him. You got Marquise Moore. He was he first came on the scene at ATL. He was the one that helped T.I. little brother. He was the one that introduced him to Big Boy in ATL. But he also was Ray Ray in Snowfall, and he played Ryan on Meet the Pains. So it is cool to see these actors balance out their acting career with their Tubi career.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Bronny be playing with the Lakers and then he go back to the G League on Tuesdays. So you got that, but then
he actually is a real actor.
But then one of the surprises that I just going through this IMDb page, I was clicking on these actors, the actors and actresses to get to know them. So I clicked on this one character, Mariah Lynn. She was the light-skinned woman in there. And I don't know if you saw her before, but Mariah Lynn, she was on Baddies East.
Yeah.
So
she was on Love and Hip Hop too.
Yeah. So
she's basically who Chanel West Coast been trying to be this whole time.
So
I just hope that the next movement is upward in some way.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
because I hear she got kicked off of Baddies, which is like, I watched the bitch kick another bitch in the face. What the fuck did she do that was worse than that?
She probably what's crazy is she probably was just being on there being a good person. They was like, this bitch gotta go. she tried to start a prayer circle.
Yo, you remember fucking Whoa Vicky?
Yeah.
So I watched whatever Baddies episode. She was on there, and it was two girls fighting, and then she was like, everybody, let's like pray to Jesus or whatever. So somebody just stole her for trying to bring positivity. And she was like, I'm not trying to hear all that Jesus shit right now. And somebody just like fucked her up for that.
Yeah, and who else is in this? You got Mina Moreau. Mina Moreau, she's
a favorite.
Yeah, she's definitely a Tubi favorite. From Detroit. She's been in one of the stars of The Dirty D and plenty other movies. So you have a nice cast here. In this movie, you have a nice cast here, but that's kind of where the goodness stops with this one. This movie, and I want to support them because, this was shot throughout the tri-state area for us. This was shot like South Jersey, Philadelphia. But I don't know. I don't know with the director. I don't know his vision. The vision and writing for this one, for me, it was kind of all over the place. It's a lot of sex throughout this movie. There's a lot of sex. So this is a good Valentine's Day watch if you trying to if you trying to get some ideas on positions, or like you want to put something on that you don't have to watch while you doing what you do. But if you looking for a good story, this wasn't it. And I'm disappointed because it's only an hour long. This could have been a short. This could have been 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, just show Mariah Lynn's titties and then cut it off. But so these sex scenes were. There was one point. All right, so the nigga Jeremy fucks twice within like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like two. It's in full sex scenes, and in the first one, the girl pulls his pants down, and then like. You see his like pubic hair come out, and you're like, "Yo, is his dick about to pop onto the screen?" Like, I think they really did it by accident and just cut it there. Like, this shit is,
yeah, this shit is a lot to watch.
It's too much.
It's way too much. And watching this, so Unexposed, this movie, it's about a married woman who finds out her man is cheating. She finds out her man is cheating, so she ends up leaving him, and she goes out to help other women who men are cheating on them. She basically becomes like a private investigator.
I do know that in all of the sex scenes in this movie, the women are wearing like nipple pasties and shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't get, because you can show titties on Tubi. It doesn't matter. And two, like, are you concerned that your like dad's gonna see this movie and be like, well, at least I ain't see your nipples? Because there's a whole ass crack, under titty, over titty, the whole titty. You're basically butt naked, just nipples not showing. So I'm not sure what the thought process behind that was. The only thing that could have saved this movie was nipples. It's the only thing that could have made this not a 1 out of 10, that's not our scale. 1 out of 5.
I don't know. That's something that we working on too, as far as getting like the Tubi list together for y'all. Want to get the Tubi list in a better rating system. So, but if I did have to rate this just like offhand, it would probably be at the bottom. Not like we have a tier between Run Nixon and Watch Your Back. So Run Nixon is definitely like. Little Fizz definitely set the standard for trash.
This was an entertaining movie. I will not say that I was not entertained, but I was laughing at it and not with it. So that's not what a director is going for, I think.
I'm gonna play this opening scene right here to kind of let you like know what the movie is going to be.
Well, the opening scene is just
once they get past the sex. It's like they just too calm about this. It's like nothing is believable. Then later after this, when she like questions him, his wife is Tracy. She questions him like, how long you been fucking her? He says like for about like 9 months. That little nigga was like 8.
9 months, like not consecutively.
And then
like you're fucking her for a month 8 years ago, and then 8 months since now. Or 1 month every year, you fuck her. So it's not a lie. It's just a omission of truth. Which I guess is technically a lie. If now I think about it. But it's like, that's nigga math. You can get away with that type of shit if you smart. Right?
I've been fucking her for 1 month for the past 9 years.
It adds up perfectly.
That is great math. Shit. That is some nigga shit. That shit. But to have your side family sleeping on your wife's. Why is your side family sleeping on the boat anyway?
Yeah. You should know something's up if you got seasickness every day. Yeah, from the get-go, that shit didn't make sense. It was like, it goes from, all right, so if you got a second family, why is a yacht even the place that you would think to put them? And then it goes to this conversation, and then there's one of them fucking grass walls. The whole movie is just...
The whole movie was them trying to promote this restaurant and lounge. It was, that's where, like, you know, a lot of this stuff took place at, and they made sure to spotlight that. Actually, I'm gonna check them out. It's Essie's Restaurant and Lounge. I looked it up. It's in Clementon, New Jersey.
And it's so crazy because it looks like New Jersey in the background, but I was like, "There's no way this is fucking Jersey and Philly."
Yeah, so
but it was.
So, Mina Monroe and Mariah Lynn's character, they have a conversation. Like, they both find out that, you know, they've both been sleeping with Jeremy Meeks, and they confront each other. And Jeremy, you know, he later goes to his girl, and they have a conversation about it. And I need y'all to just listen to the acting.
Is this the scene where you can't hear the dialogue, but you can hear the music?
No.
Okay. No, this is that scene.
This nigga said, "I don't blame you." Like, he was basically, this nigga was about to blame her for catching him cheating. This movie has a serious amount of ridiculousness about how they just wrap the movie up. That's one of the things that pisses me off about some of these movies, where it's like they might be going somewhere and then they just take the story a whole nother place of just like, I know it's a movie, but it's like, how do you want me to believe this? Like,
yeah, this movie is so visual that, like, I don't want the videos to get taken down, but we gotta show these people that haven't seen the movie and they might not watch it. You gotta see this man get his dick cut off.
Yeah, cause like she cuts it off and then she's holding it and throws it into the urinal.
But it's like, you don't. The last 10 minutes of a movie, you can't set up a sequel that's about an entirely different group of people that didn't exist in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was the problem with this movie. It was like the whole movie, you follow 6 people, and then the last 10 minutes, they just introduced 10 new characters.
And this was a terrible endorsement of this restaurant, because in that one scene we played, he's like, "You come here all the time?" She's like, "No." If you trying to advertise, you be like, "Yeah, I come here all the time. This is my favorite restaurant." That's how you advertise some shit. 1 and 2. A Japanese person cut a dick off in the bathroom in this movie. So I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to use the bathroom at this place. You hear konnichiwa, you better run.
Shit, man. If y'all looking for something to watch, something to create the mood for you, man, check out Unexposed. But shit, before we get out of here though, just want to say we definitely appreciate y'all continued support, man. Yeah, just keep supporting the pod, spread the word. And like I said, if there's anybody out there, you know, looking for ways to, like, that could want to help us, like, as far as like production, graphic design, social media coordinating, any type of things like that, or, you know, or if y'all have any ideas of how, if y'all have any ideas of like just certain things that you might want to see more of on the pod, like, you know, somebody suggested Tubi movies ahead of time, things like that, you know, just reach out to us. And also, you know, with the community events, if y'all have any community events, please let us know, no matter what city y'all in, because we want to build some type of community, because that's what we really do gotta offset. Like, you know how we talk about this, like with the whole, it's like a incel community, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, this growing because it's youth out there looking for some type of like mentorship or leadership or something like that to look up to, but they might not have something positive because all the positive people aren't shit. It's like, look at the positive leadership they got. like Umar, like it's like
He's the most positive guy I can think of on the internet.
Right.
And that's bad.
yeah.
You don't want your little brother walk around saying everything 3 times, calling white people snow puppies. That's just not how you can. You don't get a job acting like that.
Yeah. So we definitely do want to, like, you know, bridge the gap for just everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
this shit can't be unchecked and existing in a bubble. You know, like there's got to be a whole fucking. There's got to be some oversight. You know, and those like those things. It's like religious cults and shit. Where everybody just fucking one guy with the microphone will say something and everybody just agrees with him and gives him money. I want niggas to disagree with me.
yeah.
It makes me feel better when I show you that you're wrong.
No, but I do. No, but I do want people to disagree with us because, you know, we are human and we say shit that's wrong too. And some of the things that y'all say to us, some of the feedback y'all gives, is definitely changed my perspective on how I look at certain situations.
You know, all right. So you saw that they didn't catch him. They found out who Jack the Ripper is.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
After like 130 years, they used DNA evidence. I still don't know how they did it.
Yeah,
it was like a hair or some shit. I don't know.
I saw that they caught him because at the time they knew he was the guy that did it, but they had no way to prove it back then.
Right.
Because they said this was like 10 years before fingerprinting.
10 years before?
Yeah, that's how long ago those cases were. It was 10 years. It was like 10 or 15 years before they actually started collecting fingerprints.
That's fucking insane because that's 130 years ago and they used DNA evidence to like catch him.
But it was crazy, like back then, how easy it was to get away with crimes. Like you could just kill a nigga in Queens and just move to Brooklyn, and nobody would know you did it.
And they'd send letters to the fucking police. Like the Zodiac killer did that shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. But it's like they can catch this guy, but they can't catch the nigga that killed Biggie, who I'm just learning is fucking dead.
Yeah.
I can't believe Biggie's been dead this whole time.
Alright, man. It's been a good one. I'm Anthony Moore.
Goodbye.